The Hidden Factory. Once upon a time, in a forest far, far away, there was a young tree named Timber. Timber was just like any other tree in the forest, except for one thing. He was always hungry. You see, Timber didn't know how to make his own food like the other trees did. He thought food only came from the seeds that he dropped on the ground. One day, Timber asked his neighbor, an old oak tree named Mr. Oak, how he was able to grow so big and strong. Mr. Oak smiled and said, "I make my own food, Timber, just like all the other trees in the forest." Timber was surprised. "How do you do that?" he asked. Mr. Oak explained, "Well, I use the sun's energy to turn carbon dioxide and water into glucose, which is my food. I do this through a process called photosynthesis, where my leaves capture the energy from the sun and turn it into food for me." The leaves are my food factory. You can only visit this hidden factory with a microscope. Timber was fascinated. He had never heard of photosynthesis or a factory in a leaf before. "How do your leaves do that?" he asked. "Well," Mr. Oak said, "at the center of my leaves lies a very tiny vein that acts as the main highway transporting water and nutrients to the leaf cells. Branching off from this vein are very tiny veins which spread throughout the leaf like a web. These smaller veins are called the midrib, and they help to support the leaf and distribute the nutrients evenly. The leaf's outer layer is called the epidermis, and it is covered in tiny pores called stomata. These stomata allow the leaf to breathe, take in carbon dioxide, and release oxygen. Inside the epidermis are the guard cells, which regulate the opening and closing of the stomata, preventing too much water from evaporating from the leaf. Deeper inside the leaf are the chloroplasts, which give the leaf its green color. These tiny structures are responsible for photosynthesis. The chloroplasts contain a pigment called chlorophyll, which absorbs the light and uses it to create sugars that the leaf uses for fuel. All these internal parts work together like a factory to keep the leaf healthy and alive. And even though the leaf is just a small part of the forest, It is essential to the ecosystem, providing oxygen for all the living creatures around it. Timber was amazed. He had never thought of leaves as factories before. From that day on, he started paying more attention to the leaves on his own branches, and he marveled at how they were able to turn sunlight into food. And soon enough, timber grew big and strong like Mr. Oak, thanks to the magic of photosynthesis.